What's up, everybody? It's Mark, Tim, and Alex, and you're watching another edition of
Rants!
So, we are here now to talk about the main event of Money in the Bank. This match features Seth Rollins, the champion, versus Dean Ambrose, who is the champion of stealing stuff. That is okay, because he's Dean Ambrose and he can get away with that. What a match they had last event 2 weeks ago where it looked like Dean Ambrose was the champion, and it shocked me and it shocked everyone else.
It shocked the world.
It shocked the whole wrestling world, WWE universe. I did not think it would happen. I wanted it to happen, and then it happened, and I lost it. All you gotta do is ask Jess, who was watching it with us, and my face was like, it was amazing. It was a great moment.
He almost cried too.
I probably almost shed a few man tears. You know.
Oh, really? I thought just onions were in the room.
Yeah, plenty of those. Now, it was a cool moment. Of course, they had to swerve it and say that he won by DQ, so Rollins has the title, blah, blah, blah. But that reaction that crowd gave was absolute pandemonium. That should tell WWE, like, hey, man, I think Dean Ambrose is ready to be a champion. And the crowd will get right behind it, no questions asked. So, I don't know what your thoughts are, but I'm starting to believe a little bit that maybe Dean Ambrose is the champion after Sunday.
He's the most over guy in the company right now. Without a doubt, no questions asked. I mean, is he the best wrestler? No, but he has a lot of great moves. He's very dynamic. His mannerisms are amazing. He's fresh. Every single time you see him go into the ring, he does something different, and that's what I really love about him.
Yeah, nice.
And he's just awesome, and yeah, he deserves it. Will he win? I don't know. I don't know if WWE's ready to pull the trigger on it. I think that they had him win at Elimination Chamber. Well, he won the match, but obviously didn't win the title. But I think they just wanted to kind of gauge as a test to see how the crowd would react. And I think it was pretty...
They blew the place up.
It was pretty obvious how the crowd was going to react, but I think they just wanted, to test the crowd.
Yeah.
To tease the crowd a little bit.
Yeah, get that reaction from them, because everyone was like, this is unbelievable. And the reports after saying, like, the arena was just nuts, and it was, like, deafening, because everyone was just so happy. Similar to, like, Daniel Bryan winning the title. Like, the first time he did, and when he won at WrestleMania, it was the greatest moment. So
now, I missed Elimination Chamber. How exactly did he get DQ'd?
Well, because Rollins at one point pulled the referee in front of him as Dean Ambrose was coming off the top rope. So Ambrose ended up running into the referee, and then later on, after the 3 count was made by the second ref, the first ref got up, told him that he was disqualifying Rollins for pulling him in front of Dean Ambrose. So Ambrose still wins, just by DQ, which doesn't give him the title. So that's how it
That kind of sucks. That does suck.
Yeah,
but
I wish that it could have gone with, the ref got taken out, another ref came and called Chilled to the mat. You'd be champion, but of course that's the way they had to write it, was to have Seth retain.
And I like how Ambrose said to Rollins on Raw, I'm letting you, I'm giving you a rematch against me for the title. Like, as if he actually had the title. Yeah. Well, he physically had the title in his hands, but officially didn't have the title.
Yeah.
But he's like, I'm giving you a rematch against me. Yep.
He's perfect with stuff like
He's
this.
Hilarious. He's hilarious.
He's the biggest, troll, and he just messes and pranks people, and it's hilarious to see it on camera and how he interacts, especially with Seth Rollins, because I'm sure these guys are good friends in real life, and they probably traveled everywhere together more than likely, and so they know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and Dean Ambrose can exploit that, and Seth Rollins can work with it too. So the back and forth between these two is great, and I love that this feud is back together, because it had
that closure from Hell in a Cell. Now we're finally getting that feud that we wanted.
That's true. That's a good point. I'm so glad that they brought it back.
Now all we gotta do is slide Roman Reigns in there somehow, and it will be like the Shield is back, but obviously not back, as as a group, but they're back in the same story under the umbrella of the WWE title, and which is obviously something anyone who is a fan of the Shield, the last year or so, wants to see. These are your future, stars. Definitely. Right here. So get them in the picture, get them established now, because I don't know when it's going to be a better time.
And here's another aspect to the match to consider. There's dissension within the Authority. Seth Rollins is burning bridges left and right, and I think that this Sunday at Money in the Bank, he's not going to have anyone helping him. Who knows? It's possible, but it's looking less likely right now.
Yeah, they're really making it seem like he's going to go by himself.
And I like that.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, and I'm all for that. And if he gets the win all by himself, that's even better, because that really establishes him as like a big-time, champion, a big-time player in the whole WWE, because now he can win by himself. Now he doesn't need the help of anyone. So he's an established singles superstar.
You know what I think is going to happen? I think since Seth Rollins faced J&J Security on the Go Home show for Money in the Bank and lost, I think J&J Security is going to interfere, but Seth Rollins is going to overcome that and end up beating Ambrose.
Possibly. I think still J&J is in the corner of the Authority, and the Authority is still back in Seth Rollins.
Reluctantly.
Still. I don't think he's even that reluctant. It's more of, oh, hey, remember that stuff you said last week?
We're cool now. We'll completely forget it.
You can handle it, right? Yeah, you're good. So they're still behind.
They're teasing it, I guess.
Rollins is their guy, and yes, they're building towards something in the future with Triple H and Seth Rollins. That's been reported, and again, you take it with a grain of salt, but you have to really look at what they've been doing the last couple of weeks into the last month or so, and you really can start seeing, like, hey, they've been kind of planting the seeds a little bit, where we're going to see Seth Rollins and Triple H go at it, which will be a really good match.
That'd be awesome.
Especially with Seth Rollins using the pedigree. It's like, hello.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this match is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely glad we're seeing it, Just keep this feud going as far as they can.
Yeah, as long as it's working and they keep it interesting, and really they don't even have to do much. Like Rollins and Ambrose, they're good on their own. They can make their own promos, make their own matches, and kind of just bring the story the way they want, and it will be really good. I don't think they really need much direction at this point.
I can't wait to see what Ambrose has up his sleeve, because he has a bag of tricks. Like I said earlier, this guy, he's always doing something different. He's always tweaking something, and that's what I love about him, is that he keeps his character fresh. And a lot of these other wrestlers, they may be great wrestlers, but they have no personality. They're bland, they're boring. Not Dean Ambrose. So I can't wait to see what tricks he has up his sleeve.
Dean Ambrose is like the Joker of the WWE.
He is, really is. Yeah. If you've seen that meme, check it out. It's hilarious.
Yeah, they have plenty of those. Like, they've been making those since he was in the Shield, and it's perfect. Like, he could play a character like that so well. But this match, if you're a Shield fan, it tugs at the heartstrings a little bit, because you got two of the best. You got the two. All three of them were big in the Shield, but to me, Rollins and Ambrose stood out the most, because Ambrose being the leader and Rollins just being that sound wrestler. As far as predicting it, it's hard. That's a toss-up, to be honest with you, because they already teased Ambrose winning, and now we see that, and it's like, oh, now it's more than likely going to happen at some point. And that could be now. And on the other hand, you see Seth Rollins winning and getting his title back just to establish him more. Now it's his first major singles feud outside of winning the title, and he goes over. So I can see that argument. As far as which one holds, more weight, probably the Rollins winning. Although I'd like to see Ambrose.
Rollins wins.
I
And
like-
all of a sudden, Roman Reigns wins Money in the Bank. Roman Reigns cashes in Money in the Bank on Seth Rollins.
Or
Or
that's
Dean Ambrose.
That'd be kind of cool.
You got to consider that for sure.
That's a wild card.
And especially if we do see Roman win Money in the Bank, that has to come into everyone's mind that he's going to come out and take advantage of a situation. If Rollins is down, and then if he takes advantage of it on Ambrose, that means he's going to be heel, and that sets up a feud between Ambrose and Reigns, which would be a fun feud, but very heartbreaking at the same time, too, because those two worked really well together.
But we gotta consider in the back of our minds who's coming back very soon. So,
Who?
you know who.
The Candyman?
No. Brock Lesnar!
Oh, that's a name I don't ever want to hear ever again. Let him feud with someone else at this point. Keep him away from the title picture. I didn't even want to talk about him in this video.
Well, I'm just telling you, he's coming back soon.
I know he's coming. We all know he's coming back soon. It's well.
Except for me, now I know.
Me
Well, I
neither.
even
It
knew.
was
I just
all
wanted
over.
to ask, just so he said it to get him to say his name.
Man, get me
Sorry.
mad. He
But-
knows how I feel.
But
Sticking with the two people in the ring right now, the ones that are actually wrestling.
Dean Ambrose. I'm behind him.
this and the ladder match are a toss-up between match of the night, in my opinion.
Definitely.
Kevin Owens and Cena will be good though too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it will, but
For sure. But yeah, I'll go with Rollins just because it makes the most sense at this point since he's had this back and forth with Ambrose. And you can have Rollins win and still continue the feud at some point, or just go on to something related and then hopefully keep Ambrose in the title picture, every so often.
I think it would be amazing if Ambrose won. But yeah, I'm going Rollins.
Most likely it's going to be Rollins.
And-
The majority of us are going to say Rollins because they're not going to give it to Dean
But
right away.
I'm actually okay with Rollins winning it too because he's super talented, and it would be kind of cool to see him go on a long run. I mean, I don't want him to have it forever by any means, but at the same time, I like to see him go on a decent run. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
And also, another thing is, I'd like to see him go on a run without help, or have the help at a minimum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd like to see what he can do on his own. That would be more interesting.
Yeah, and it depends what kind of title run they want to give him, because right now, you look at title runs in, 3 different categories, in my opinion. You got your short reigns, which are a couple months. You got your medium lengths, which are 4 or 5. And then you got your long-standing champions, which are 6, 7 months and beyond. If they wanted to keep it kind of transitional, Rollins has held the title long enough. And if they want to transition it to someone else, now would be the time to do it. It's Money in the Bank. You have an interesting storyline, and then you have the wild card of if Roman Reigns wins the briefcase, then you have that.
Go for it.
I honestly, if Reigns wins the briefcase, which is very possible, I honestly don't think he'll cash in on the same night, even though that would be really cool. But I think they'll drag it out a little bit.
Depends on how beat up they are, because if they're beaten up on every weekend, it's the perfect time to cash in.
Yeah, so
And as a heel move, that's how they would do it.
yeah, so it would make a lot of sense storyline wise if Reigns catches it on Ambrose. It breaks up the friendship. It adds a whole nother dynamic to Ambrose's character. And then who knows what you do with Roman Reigns at that point, because if he's heel, he's not walking out in the crowd. He's going to be walking out on stage, and it's going to change. It's going to change his character.
And that would be actually really interesting.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying it's a strong possibility if we see Roman walk out with this briefcase.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. If he doesn't, then who knows? Then
It's a logical choice.
yeah.
I think it would be kind of cool if they turned Reigns heel, but I just don't see them doing it in the near future.
He's supposed to be the next guy. He's supposed to be the heir apparent to John Cena and all that. But maybe if they feel like that's not going where it should be, and maybe if they want to get behind Dean Ambrose a little bit more, I think Roman Reigns would be a very logical heel to go up against Ambrose, because you have that brotherhood that they had, and then not only has Rollins betrayed him, but now Reigns does. That just, again, adds a whole nother dynamic to Ambrose's story and his character, and then brings Reigns to a whole new level. So.
Plus, we saw those two trade blows at Payback, so
yeah,
and that was entertaining.
Yeah, and that was more of like a mutual kind of respect for each other. Like, yeah, we have to wrestle because we want to win the title, but this time around, if it happens like that, where Reigns turns heel, now it'll just be, a feud based on like betrayal and hatred, and that always comes off really well. As long as you have the right two people. And this would definitely be the two best people for that, because of the history that they have together.
Definitely. I think this match is going to be awesome. I just can't wait to see it. The Shield's the greatest thing WWE had. And I believe we'll see a reunion someday. But seeing these guys feud against each other, it's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
It is. It really is.
Definitely.
All right. Any last thoughts?
I'm looking forward to it. The ladder match. It's always exciting to get to this point in the year where you have the Money in the Bank ladder match. I still miss it as a part of WrestleMania. I think I was never a fan of these themed pay-per-views where they're all like multiple matches of this one type. Now they're only having one Money in the Bank ladder match, but I miss it as like a main attraction or like a side main attraction at WrestleMania. But at the very least, the match is always fun.
Well,
and
rumor has it that they might be getting rid of the whole concept.
I hope so, because
They might be getting rid of Money in the Bank.
I don't want them to do that.
I want them to keep that.
Yeah, like outside of the Rumble and WrestleMania, like there's nothing really to latch onto and like really look forward to, and nothing as a catalyst for changing storylines and adding something exciting.
Add another dynamic.
Yeah, because they don't do King of the Ring anymore, other than like every once in a while, and they did it now, but it's nothing like what it used to be. Survivor Series is kind of like a joke pay-per-view. Like, they have a few Survivor-type matches, and sometimes there'll be stipulations, but it's really nothing. In SummerSlam, they try to hype it up as like Summer WrestleMania, but it's not. It's another pay-per-view. I'm sorry. It might have some big-time matches on it, but really, for me, the wrestling year goes Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Money in the Bank, then nothing else until the Royal Rumble. Yes, then you, of course.
All right, so you know the deal. Like our Facebook page at Greek Rants. Follow us on Twitter at what's the name again?
Rant Rings.
Yeah, whatever. And yeah, I'll be posting the links down here.
As
the
well
links from Zelda.
as.
So, anyways, thanks for watching. Tell your friends about us. Like our video, share our video, dislike our video. Well, I mean, obviously, I want you guys to like it. But if you don't like
You
it,
can dislike it if you really want,
but we prefer if you
encourage
like
you to like.
share it. And thanks for watching. Any last words?
Yes, Money in the Bank this Sunday. Enjoy.
See ya.